All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Top 10 cases for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Yes, I know your boy has been stalling. A lot of you been asking me, T, when is it coming out? When is it coming out? I should have had this video over to you maybe over a month ago. But now we just getting to it right now. I had to make sure I curated that top 10 list so I can make sure it was just right. This list has changed multiple times, but I think I finally grasped what I feel is the top 10 cases for the 16 Pro Max. Now, if you're watching this will be a YouTube premiere a little bit later than I normally drop, so I can be in the chat with you guys and we can actually talk about each and every pick that I choose. Now, second, I always got to make this disclaimer. This is my top 10 list. I know some of you may not agree with, I know you may not agree with my number one case, but a lot of you may not agree with what I choose, but that's the good thing about this whole thing called life. Everybody has different opinions, all right? Let's go ahead and get it started. You already know every case that I talk about will be linked down below alongside their full video reviews. And also, if I got a discount code, that'll be down there as well. So let's go ahead and kick it off, starting with number 10, bringing it up the rear. Pause. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. We got to go start off with the Ryan London leather case with camera control. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. This is the only leather case that's on this list. I know some of you may be like, wait a minute, no Andor, no bull strap. Listen, I have my reasons. Now, you know, this thing called the camera control button has been haunting cases so long, all right? And especially when it comes to the leather cases, we've seen some case manufacturers snatch it up off the market for some odd reason, but Ryan London came along and they're not new to the game. They've been pushing out cases for a while now. They've always been sleepers when it comes to cases, but when it comes to the Ryan London leather case, they did the fit absolutely well. It has the little, so you can see the bezels going around it. Now, some of you may think that's a defect. I had some people in the video review say like, T, that's not how it's supposed to be. Actually, it is how it's supposed to be. You'll see the bezel that goes all the way around, and it's very uniform going all the way around. Nice, snug fit, very thin in form factor. When we are talking about a leather case, does not bolt things up. You have nice buttons, and these buttons are breaking in very well. But not only that is they have a camera control button, one that is fixed in the case, doesn't remove. And guess what? The camera control button works very, very well. Just is probably one of the better camera control buttons that I've seen on a case, definitely on a leather case, because guess what? They beat out Andor, they beat out Bullstrap. Now, although I do feel like Bullstrap does have better leather quality than the Ryan London, but the fact that you can get this cheaper, and I also have a discount code, so you can even get a little bit more cheaper, and they have a camera control button with this slim, minimal leather case feel. So if you're a person who used to always love the Apple leather cases and you just miss it because you know we're not getting it back because they went all eco-friendly, go out there and check out the Ryan London leather case. I think they did an amazing job with it. Easily the best leather case right now on the market for the 16 Pro Max. Of course, it comes in a few different colors. Video review link down below. I have a discount code. You can check that also down below. And no, I didn't put this in there because of the discount code. This is what I truly feel. You're getting a good value leather case, and especially if you've been waiting for a camera control, guess what? You got that too. So starting off at number 10, this is going to be the Ryan London leather case. Number 9, I think this case was a previous champion, if I'm not mistaken. And it's funny how some of these rankings can jump up and go down because it's really how I personally feel about the case and how my love for certain cases kind of change over the years. Number 9, we looking at the Kadabe synthesis. Now, you guys know, man, before the sheath was the synthesis. I used to love the synthesis back, and I still do. I still do love the synthesis, but I find it dropping down because I don't really use it a lot, but then I slapped it back on my phone, and I was like, wait a minute, man, the synthesis is a damn good case. The only thing that I feel like is one of the flaws in the synthesis is the back will show a little marring. It will show a little marks here and there as you use the case. Now, is that going to be a big deal? No, because you use cases, all right, to protect your phone. But the synthesis really checks a lot of the buttons when it comes to a case. Of course, when it comes to synthesis, they were one of the first to do it when you come with those nice grips on the side. One thing that really changed about Kadabe cases, and this is across the lineup, Paragon, synthesis, and sheath, you now have the interchangeable buttons, and that just took Kadabe's case lineup another step. So you get very nice clicky buttons, nice thin-ish form factor. It does add a tad bit of bulk on the phone, but nothing too ridiculous. Super tight fit that goes all the way around. I mean, you're going to get that on every single Kadabe case there is out there on the market. And I mean, when it comes to magnets, you have strong magnets as well. So I know you like, T, why in the world is this case number 9? I don't know, man. It just dropped down a list for me because it is, those that back can show a little bit of wear and tear, but that's really the only flaw with the synthesis. In my opinion, I think it mostly just dropped down because I don't really use it a lot. I don't really find myself being super excited to use it. But with that being said, that does not mean this is not a great case, because there's no case that's up here that I feel like isn't a good case. Any of these cases I can use for the whole year of the iPhone if I had to do so. But the Kadabe synthesis has dropped down a little bit, but that's because the competition keeps getting better and better. And even when it comes to Kadabe's, in-house competition has also gotten better. So sitting at number 9, Kadabe synthesis. You notice it's going to be a strict list if this case is sitting at number 9. Now, sitting at number 8, these next 2 cases is what I call like the dark horses. These cases I had no idea was going to make my top 10. Maybe the first time one of these cases has made the top 10. I'm not 100% sure. Let's go ahead and get into it. Number 8, and we're going to do like a dual case when it comes to this. It's going to be the Rinky Rugged and the Rinky Onyx. Look, these cases are simply amazing, all right? First off, let's start off by looking at the camo design. They come in tons of different colors when it comes to this. Now, the reason why I did a 2-part case, because they basically fit the exact same. One is just more minimal when it comes to the Onyx. 2 is going to be a little bit more rugged when it comes to the Rinky Rugged. But where my first love really came from this case was the Rinky Rugged. Let's put the Onyx to the side a minute. This case, for the price point, I think you're getting this case around 25 bucks. But it could be cheaper. But this case right here really delivers on a lot of things and is super duper slept on. So with that material on the back, this is going to be a type of material where you're not going to see smudges, fingerprints, nothing like that. I love the way Rinky does their camera protection. I love this style camera protection, and even with the lip, with the individual cutouts when it comes to the cameras. Go over on the sides, you're going to have nice subtle grips. These grips are going to remind you of something like a synthesis, but a little bit more smaller, a little bit more refined. Camera cutout is very smooth. Although it's not a button, they have a very nice indentation for that camera. Tight fit for a Rinky case. This has a nice tight fit that goes all the way around. And when it comes to the MagSafe, let me pop that on stronger. MagSafe is not the strongest, but I don't fault that, man. This case is such a good case because of the grips. The buttons are nice and tactile. I just like the way it looks. It's just a smooth looking case in my opinion. And when you're holding it in your hands, this case just feels right. And I had to put this on the top 10. Even though when I first got the Rinky Rugged, I said, you know what, this is kind of one of your best budget cases out there. But if you want to slim it up a little bit and you want to go with something a little bit more minimal, that's when it comes with the Onyx. This thing really keeps things thin, minimal, doesn't add a bunch of bulk to your phone. It has all the characteristics of the Rinky Rugged, except all the rugged sides. And they also have I forgot to mention, you also have these little 4 feet. So when you set it down on the back, you don't got to worry about this getting messed up. Although this is a material that's not going to show any damage or anything like that. But same thing when it comes to the Rinky Fusion X. Just look at the way they did the camera cutout. You get those grips, nice, just a clean case, super clean case, super good value when it comes to these cases. I knew when I slapped these on my phone for the very first time that these were going to be 2 cases that was going to be in my top 10. So Rinky Rugged, Rinky Fusion X, you really can't go wrong with it. Just depends on if you want a more rugged case or if you want a more minimal case. Go out there getting this, sitting at number 8. Such a good case, such a great case. And I'm a fan. Rinky, you did a good job with these, man. Would love to see these just add on. Maybe give us some independent buttons. Maybe give us some standalone buttons. Whatever you got to do, you can really make these cases just catapult to the top as long as you keep a nice, good, competitive price. So Rinky Rugged, Rinky Fusion X, sitting at, I said number 8? Excuse me, number 7. This case, no, number 8. Goodness gracious, T. 10, 9, sitting at number 8, the Rinky cases. Number 7. Now, this is a case I didn't think was going to drop as low as it did. This case, when I reviewed it, one of the better camera control buttons out there in the market. Felt like this case could have easily been in my top 5. But once again, competition is stiff. When a good case comes in, it can just knock one down a little bit off the totem pole. Let's go ahead and get into it. Sitting at number 7 is going to be the D brand grip. Yes, you heard it right. This is sitting at number 7 on the list. Now, when it comes to the D brand grip, this may be the lowest that has ever been in my opinion. And there's nothing wrong with the D brand grip. When you know about the D brand grip, you already know about the customizations you're going to get when it comes with the skins. Even though they have the built-in integrated buttons, they are some of the best out there in the market. I know a lot of us kind of want to see a change when it comes to the buttons, but honestly, they work, they do just good. The grip name, there's some of the originators when it comes to this grip of doing it the right way. And when it comes to the D brand grip, I don't think you're going to find a tighter fit, in my opinion. Pause. All right, we love a good tight fit. But I don't think you're going to find a tighter fit when it comes to a case, when it comes to that D brand grip. Protection with the ski ramp effect when it comes to the lay on the table protection, tight fit grip, nice buttons. And then they decided to come out with that camera control button. And the reason why I like it, because it looks so different than all the other camera control buttons on the market. But I don't care how it looks. How does it perform? And this camera control button absolutely performs perfect. It's one of the better camera control buttons out there on the market, because you already know when it comes to camera control buttons, they can be a very hit or miss experience, and that's something that I have experienced when it comes to all these cases with the camera control. The only thing that I would like to see improved on this is the camera control button has a ever so slight little wiggle. If they can just tighten that camera control case, the button up just a little bit, it will make all of the difference on the totality of this D brand grip case. But I absolutely just love it. The D brand grip, I feel like it's always been in my top 10, but this is the lowest that it's been. Not saying it's a bad case. The competition, just like I stated, man, has been getting better and better and better. So D brand grip, customization, strong fit, nice buttons, nice strong MagSafe magnets, camera control button, tight fit, all the things, all the cutouts are spot on. Absolutely love it. Sitting at number 7. I know it's going to shock a lot of y'all out there, man, because I really thought this case, like I said, would be in the top 5, even in the top 3 when I reviewed it. But when you sit down and think about it, man, things tend to shift. Things seem to wiggle around. So, yep, number 7, D brand grip. This also was a past champion in my top 10 case video, sitting at number 6. And I got a lot to say about this case right here, because I do love it, but I do have a love-hate relationship with it at the same time. All right. We're going to talk about the Phone Rebel Gen 6. Now, I know some of you like, wait a minute, T. I thought this case would potentially be your number 1 case. And you would be right, man. But over the years, Phone Rebel has made some very nice improvements. But I feel like they've also taken a step back with giving us things that nobody typically asks for. Now, when it comes to a Phone Rebel, once again, just like the D brand grip, man, this thing is going to be one of the tighter fitting cases. I actually think it may peel up some of your screen protectors if you got to really pay attention, because it's kind of peeling some of mine up right now. And I can't remember what screen protector I have up here. This could be a Flow Lab. Not 100% sure, but this case has an extremely tight fit. This in the D brand grip has some of the tight, well, some other cases on this list that also has a very tight fit, but Phone Rebel, tight case. Now, you already know when it comes to Phone Rebel, what is the thing that everybody likes about them? The interchangeability when it comes to all the components. Of course, this year they gave us different camera lenses. You give us a little button right here. Well, not button, just a little placard right here. You get the volume up and down. All the buttons are interchangeable. Of course, they do have a camera control cutout. They do have a camera control Ultra, Gen 6 Ultra, that's coming out very soon. Honestly, make it have it this week. But we're not judging on that. We're judging on the case that we have in hand right now. And they have those grips going along the sides. Now, some things that they did a little bit different this year is they made this case an all one-piece case. Now, I do like that. They were able to thin things up a little bit, but some things that I didn't like they did was they took the 4 feet away. That's one thing that I don't like. Number 2, another thing that I don't really care for, and excuse my language, it's these aggravating, I was going to cuss, screws that you have to use to take and change the look. I hate it. This method that you have to take. Let me just show y'all what I'm talking about. All right. Let me just show y'all what I'm talking about. When you look on the camera, you have these 4 little screws. I hate that application. I just do not like it. I think you need to go back to just the old pop in. Nobody necessarily asked for this. You're giving us extra stuff that nobody really asked for. Same thing when it comes to this little Phone Rebel plaque right here. This thing can kind of move and wiggle. I don't feel like we need that. That's something extra that I don't feel like a lot of people actually need. You know what I mean? So when you're thinking about this case, it's still going to be such a great case. The protection is going to be there. You're still going to get the feet on the front. So when you got your lay on tail protection, all of that's there. But I feel like there's some things that's just kind of hinder it, that annoys me about the case, as to why it just took a tumble down to number 6. Number 6 is still a great case, still great ranking, still going to be a very good case, but I feel like Phone Rebel is just doing a little bit too much We kind of need to scale it back. Let's get back to the basics on what made the Phone Rebel case amazing. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. If you already have a great case, you make fine refinements here and there. Don't start getting too fancy with your case. And I feel like that's what Phone Rebel has done in the future and what they have going on as of right now. So sit at number 6, Phone Rebel Gen 6. All right, no relation to where the place of it was, but yeah, Phone Rebel Gen 6, man, coming in at number 6. I love it. I just wish they would just not do so much. All right, let's go ahead and get into that top 5. Once again, this case, previous champion as well. Now I know you're like, T, what in the hell? Who is going to be the number 1 case? Because you all have all these previous champions. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. Sit that number 5. All right, top 5. These are gonna be the best out there. Kadabe Sheath. Okay, now I know. Wait a minute. I know Sheath Gang stand up. Y'all like, wait a minute, man. This is the Sheath Gang. All right, Sheath Gang stand up. When it comes to Kadabe Sheath, man, this is one of the ones that's always gonna be. I always love it. I always gonna have a love for it. Nice, firm type material. Even though you see it flex, that's not the fit that you get when it's actually on the case. Nice soft lining on the inside. You're gonna get this texture on the back of it where some find it slippery, some find it grippy. It's just how you perceive the Kadabe sheath. One thing, like I stated earlier before, they do have these interchangeable buttons, so you can kind of switch it up to kind of customize it to however you want when it comes to it. And then you slap it on the phone. The sheath has kind of been changing over the years, but I feel like they've got back to their original sauce of having this fit A1 back how it used to be on the original Chiefs, and the reason why this case was always number 1. Camera control cutout, just like I stated before, on the Synthesis is going to be a very good one. I know they have the camera control button coming soon. When? I don't know. Of course, you guys will know as soon as I get it in hand. But the reason why the sheath has maybe taken a tumble down a little bit is because of that texture. Sometimes the texture can be hit or miss. It depends on the nature of where you are, how your hands are. I know some people say tea is slippery. I don't necessarily say it's slippery, but one thing that I do find the sheath these days personally is it's going to be a little bit more on the thicker side these days. Now that's not bad. I still love the way it feels, but I've been gravitating to more minimal cases. Therefore, I really haven't used the sheath a lot, but once again, that doesn't take away from the case itself. I still think it's an amazing case with that texture on the back that doesn't show scratches, fingerprints, different things like that. Nice buttons, nice camera control, nice tight fit. When it comes to MagSafe, you're going to have a nice, strong MagSafe, as you can see right there. I mean, the sheath is going to check all of the boxes when you're talking about a clean, minimal style case. So Kadabe sheath starting the top 5 off, it might be a shocker to some, but this still is going to be an amazing case. With this list the way it is, if you get into the top 5, you know you're doing your thing. So Kadabe, keep knocking it out the park. You know there's some more, another Kadabe case that we haven't said yet. We're going to get into it very soon, man. But sit at number 5, Kadabe sheath. Number 4, always, as I've said, since this case has been in existence, one of the most anticipated cases for the first gen, and definitely one of the most anticipated cases for the Gen 2 version. We got to go ahead and take it to Halloween, man, with the D brand Ghost. Now, I know tons of you out there saying, T, I know the D brand Ghost is your number 1 case, man. It kind of had y'all fooled because I felt like this could have been my number 1 case, but the more I've used it, the more things I can't say that I dislike about it, but things that I would slightly want improved. So when it comes to the D brand Ghost, if you're going to be a clear case person, now I know some people technically don't call this a clear case, but I feel like if you can see the back of your device in the color straight back with a transparent back, this is going to be a clear case. Now, I love what they did with the magnets when it comes to the Ghost. Of course, they pride themselves on having some of the strongest magnet on the case, and guess what? D brand, you did just that when it comes to these magnets. Super strong magnets. When it comes to that clear back, one thing that you always battle when it comes to clear cases is going to be scratches, yellowing, different things like that. D-Brand said, listen here, you don't got to worry about neither one of those things, yellowing or scratching. If you see any one of the two, we're going to give you a lifetime warranty no matter how old the case is. We're going to go ahead and honor by that, man. They have some very nice scratch resistant. I'm not going to say scratch proof because I feel like you still can scratch it. I have a scratch on mine. Don't know how it happened. Probably keys in my pocket, something like that. But everyday wear and tear, I don't think you're going to get a whole bunch of scratches built up when it comes to this. Now, D-Brand Ghost when it comes to their sides. They are doing the grip thing also, but a little bit different than the D-Brand grip when it comes to these sides. I feel like this case feels amazing. Doesn't add a ton of bulk when you were talking about it. Nothing like the D-Brand grip, all right? Let me pull the grip over here. It's gonna be much thinner, as you can see, than the D-Brand grip, and that makes for a great feel in the hands. Those grips do amazingly well. And also, you have great buttons. I mean, even though D-Brand may have the built-in buttons, but they know how to do buttons. Here is the thing that the two things that kind of throw me off a little bit about this case. Camera control button. And I love the way they did the camera control. It's probably one of the most smoother integrations on this list. But in my opinion, the camera control button truly leaves just a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. Like sometimes I'm getting some skips and some stutters. You can kind of, it's just the speed of it's just, it's decent, but it moves around a little too much. This button really has a lot of moving, a lot of wiggling, and I feel like you have to change the settings of sensitivity in order to get that camera control button to work that way I want it. Now, I know a lot of people out there saying, T, mine works flawlessly. There's nothing wrong with it. Obviously, that's just not my experience. So that's kind of the one gripe that I feel about it. Number two could be a personal thing, but the back of clear cases just feel kind of slippery in my opinion. Now, although you do have grips going along the sides, when you're gripping the back of it, you can still get some of those slippery characteristics. Now, it's not such a big deal, but I gotta mention it because that's just something how I feel about it. But other than that, sitting at number four, the D-Brand Ghost is a hell of a case. Strong magnets, nice grip, show off the color of your iPhone. This is going to be a great case to come, and little subtle improvements that they can make over time. You're going to be able to get this for Samsung devices as well. So that's another major plus in my opinion. But tight fit when it comes to it. There are some people that said they still like the Ghost 1.0 design a little bit better. And I happen to agree because that was such a unique design, how thin it was, but they couldn't make all the necessary improvements with that design. They had to change it up, go with this design to give us all the improvements that we wanted from the Ghost 1.0. So sitting at number four, D-Brand Ghost 2.0, hell of a case. Absolutely love it. This case can easily be on my phone at any given time, whether it's for my iPhone, whether it's for my S25 Ultra. Absolutely love it. Coming in number four. Top three. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I know this brand, you're like, T, I am sick of seeing this brand in your top 10 cases, but this is going to be an all-new offering from Kadabe. When I got it in hand, I said, you know what? I think this is going to be my favorite Kadabe case out of the lineup. We got to go ahead and get into it, man, with the Paragon. Now, you know this is going to come in a few different colors. I tend to use the Moonstone one. That's exactly what I like because guess what? It goes flawlessly with the white iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, when it comes to this, nice felt lining on the inside, flipping it over on the sides. Once again, you're going to get those Kadabe interchangeable buttons. Very nice camera control cutout. I love the grip pattern that they decided to go with it. The Sheath, Synthesis, and Paragon all have different grip patterns, but they all work very good, very subtle. Slap this phone in the actual case, you're going to get that very tight fit that you know. When it comes to this back, this is going to be a scratch resistant. Once again, not really scratch proof, but let me tell you what, this backing does a damn good job when it comes to their cases of not just putting a whole bunch of scratches on it. It's going to have a nice pearlescent finish, especially this one when it comes to the Moonstone. But I mean, how much sauce? This might be one of the best looking case combos on this list. That's why I use the Moonstone paired with this white 16 Pro Max. Just looks absolutely amazing. Nice cutouts, nice grip, keeps things fairly thin. MagSafe, you already know when it comes to the Paragon, you're getting strong MagSafe. When it comes to any of the Kadabe cases, you already know what you're getting. Very, very good case. Absolutely love it. I like it because it just feels good in the hand. The sides aren't too abrasive. Maybe like your Synthesis, for those who think that's a little bit too rough. Like the Sheath, where people may think that's a little bit too slippery. I feel like the Paragon is just right, all right? The porridge or whatever the story tale. All right, y'all let me know in the comment sections down below. It's just right. It's just right. Your porridge or soup, whatever the hell it is sitting just right. I feel like that's what it is when it comes to the Paragon. So top three. Love this case, man. A lot of you thought this case was going to be number one. I know you're like, what? You kind of can see where this list is going, but absolutely love this case. Love the other colorways that they also offer for the Paragon. And just love it, man. Just a nice, smooth, thin, added the customizable buttons. Very clean, minimal case for the 16 Pro Max. Sitting at number three, Kadabe Paragon. Number two, we got to go with the Binks Armor Pro Prestige for the 16 Pro Max. Look, Binks has been doing their thing. Binks has just taken over the Aramid game, in my opinion, and they are just knocking it out the park. And then when I got the Armor Pro at first, I said, you know what, man? I don't like the way they went plastic on me. They went plastic with the camera rings. They went plastic with the buttons. But Binks said, wait a minute, hold it. Let's go ahead and hit you with the Prestige Armor Pro, but this time they brought back those aluminum camera rings, aluminum buttons, along with the tight fit, along with an amazing camera control button. So let's go ahead and slap it on. Now, this case was in a battle against my number one case. Both of these cases have been swinging at each other, and this could have went either way, but it did swing its way towards the Binks Armor Pro Prestige. And I love this case because, first of all, the colorway. Now, although I'm not the biggest fan of the colorway, I'm talking about, I wish it was just like this color. If this was just all together, sometimes the color breakup kind of throws it off for me. But when you're looking at pure case, this thing knocks it out the park. I mean, when you're talking about fit, the sides on this Binks Prestige does not move. I'm talking about nothing moves. Even by the buttons, does not move. Super tight fit. Camera ring, aluminum. Buttons, aluminum, nice and tactile. All your cutouts spot on. Keeping things very thin. Camera control button, freaking A+. All right, this camera control button is also one of the best ones when it comes, if not one of the best, right alongside with Apple when it comes to sensitivity and just working. Grip, this is kind of where I didn't make it number one, because the only thing that I can say that kind of dings me about this, it is a little bit slippery. The Binks Prestige Armor Pro can be a little bit slippery, but that's it. Everything else I love about this case. Tight fit, great buttons. When it comes to the MagSafe, not your strongest. Well, yeah, it is. It is pretty strong. I haven't ran this case in a long time, but it does pick up my base. Strong magnets, good buttons, tight fit, great camera control, nice looking case, quality feeling case in your hand while keeping things very thin. And it just checks the boxes. This case really checks all the boxes and easily could have been number one. I messed around with this and the number one case back and forth, but I settled on my number one case and I had my reasons because I feel like number one does check all the boxes. But we ain't talking about number one yet. We on number two. This is going to be the Binks Armor Pro Prestige. I feel like a lot of you went and got this case and a lot of you love it, and I don't blame you, Binks. Just make this all solid colors. We don't need the color breakup. You could have made this all this color, all black, all green, all knock it out the park. You can really flood the market and absolutely nail it when it comes to these cases. So number two easily was number one at one point, but I did the switch up. Binks Armor Pro Prestige. And the number one case, the current champion for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I cannot wait to hear you guys' comments on what you think about this one. If you've been following my list, I'm pretty sure you know what it is. We got to go ahead and give it to the Phone Rebel Air Gen 2. Now, I have my reasoning as to why this case is number one. This case is one that I constantly come back to just for being very clean and minimal, all right? Now, when you look at the Rebel Air 2, it's not going to wow you. It's not going to have anything to have you like, damn, that's a great looking case. But this is where this case just catapults all, and that's in the value. This case is 21 bucks. Basically, we're talking about a $20 case. And let me go ahead and run down the things that you're going to get for that $20 case, all right? You're going to get one of the tightest fits when it comes to a case. You don't get any motion at all. Very similar to the Binks when it comes to that. Check the fit off. Absolutely amazing. Second, you're going to get grips. Very nice grips on the side. You're not going to find this level of grippiness on a case that's 20 bucks. You can kind of get it when it comes to the ring key, but it still has a little bit. This is the grip that you're going to expect when it comes to a $20 case, all right? Check, grip, off the mark. Buttons, now, they do have the embedded buttons. No buttons from Phone Rebel that you know in all the other cases where you can interchangeable. But guess what? They may not clicky. They might not give you the most audible feedback, but the buttons are super nice and clicky. Absolutely performs, all right? And it's just so minimal and clean and just really a plain Jane minimal case. But the reason why I love it, it's going to have decent MagSafe strength, not the strongest. But once again, I think it all comes down to value when it comes to this case. You're not going to find a better case for $20 for the 16 Pro Max. It's also going to give you these 4 feet to go around the corner, lay on tail protection, a nice clean camera control cutout, and very thin filling case. These are the reasons why I chose this as number one. And there are cases that look better than this. But when it comes to a value proposition, you got a backing that's not going to show a bunch of marks and smudges and scratches and different things like that, with it being type of a matte-ish silicone. You're not going to worry about it. You're going to put this case on your phone and literally forget about it, man. That's what I always do when it comes to this Phone Rebel. But is it Phone Air? I'm sorry, Phone Rebel Air Gen 2. You go a nice little Phone Rebel, very subtle little R right there. Nice cutouts down below. Clean, minimal, giving you what you need at a very affordable price point. So number one case is going to be sitting with the Phone Rebel Air 2. Now, I know a lot of you are like, T, there ain't no way in the hell that you gave that case number one. But if you actually have this case, you know the value that it brings with simplicity and delivering on everything that you guys love about a case. So number one, let's go ahead and give it a rundown again. Number one, Phone Rebel Air 2. Sitting at number two, we got to go ahead and give it to the Bics Armor Pro Prestige. Number three, Kadabe Paragon. Absolutely love that case right there. Coming in number four, we got the D-Brand Ghost 2.0. Number five, Kadabe Sheath sitting there. Number six, Phone Rebel Gen 6. Number seven, D-Brand Grip, as you can see there. Number eight, we got the Rinky Rugged and the Rinky Onyx. I'm basically doing that at 2-in-1 for those cases. Number nine, Kadabe Synthesis. And number 10, one of the best leather cases that you're just about going to get for the 16 Pro in the Ryan London leather case with that camera control button. Let me know what you guys think about the list, man. This is always interesting. My list always kind of takes you through an emotional roller coaster when it comes to what is where. All of these cases are absolutely amazing. There could have been a bunch of honorable mentions when it comes to this case. The Flow Lab SurTech, you got the Illumu cases, the Rhino Shield Solid Suit, a bunch of cases that could have been an honorable mention, Bullstrap, Andar, but the top 10 is where it matters. And this is my top 10 for the 16 Pro Max. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what you felt like the number one case is and what your number one case is. Links will be all down below. Discount codes, video reviews. If you want to know about any one particular case, everything that you need to know is in the description down below, man. So check it out. And if you want to know a little bit more about the number one case, I'll be sure to leave that video right here.